And when we start getting these emotions coming up and these feelings, the only thing that we know to do is get back into them video games. Welcome back to the channel, and today guys, I want to talk to you about something that I've struggled with throughout my life, and that is addiction. And for me, although I've had alcohol issues, drinking problems, issues in the past, wanting to self-destruct, the main addiction I'm going to be talking about today is something that a lot of people aren't even aware is an addiction, and that's video games. It doesn't seem like many people are talking about video game addiction, how it affects people, what it looks like, and how it can creep into our lives subtly at first and then all consuming. So there's the thing with video game addiction is playing video games is seen, I think, as a little bit more as a normal thing for someone to do than drink alcohol. It's a little bit more acceptable. Problem is, it has the same effect in the way that when you're playing video games, you're completely numbing all your thoughts and feelings. When you're in a video game, you're not thinking about anything else. You're not thinking about how I feel, what my life looks like. Am I growing? Am I stagnant? What's going on externally? You're just in that video game, and you're playing, and you don't think about anything else apart from that video game. And one of the worst things is now that video games are actually designed to be addictive. The way they're made, they'll sort of do it in a kind of like gambling now, where you'll go in, you'll start playing, and then it will start off really well, and then you'll continue playing, and it'll get worse and worse and worse for a period of time, and then just as you're ready to quit playing, it will be good again, and it repeats that cycle. And what happens is the more we bury ourselves into video games, it's like escapism. The more we do that, the worse the life outside the video games becomes. And it's almost like a vicious cycle, because when we stop playing the video games, we might sit there and feel unfulfilled, unsatisfied. We might sit there and think about our lives and feel trapped and not content, and not in the slightest happy. And when we start getting these emotions coming up and these feelings, the only thing that we know to do is get back into them video games, bury our heads into them video games, and stop feeling them difficult, them hard feelings. But what happens is, the more we ignore them feelings and the more we bury our head into video games, the worse things get. And the worse things get, the less and less you want to address them things. The more and more you want to escape from them issues, from them difficulties, from them stresses. You don't want to feel anything. And all you know how to do, what you know to escape that, is by playing hours and hours of video games. And before you know it, any time off the games, you're desperately trying to get back onto them as soon as you can. It's a priority for you now, because you can't stand sitting with yourself and the thought of where your life is and what's going on. You can't stand that. It's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. So video game addiction is very real, and it's prevalent in a lot of people now. But I don't think we're really addressing the issue. It's something I struggled with one of the better known battle royale games. Ends in A, or begins in A, ends in PEX, and I got severely addicted to that game. And it was for me pure escapism. When I'm playing video games, I'm not thinking about anything else. It's only now that I've stopped and reflected and looked back on that process, and what happened is I'm able to see what happened and how deep I was into that addiction. But it's like when you quit anything, you quit smoking, you quit drinking, I still have an urge to go back and indulge in that pure escapism, that pure bliss of not feeling. But I know where it will end up. So one of the things I've managed to do to help myself with that addiction is just be playing video games with friends. I just play when my friends are online, I'll play, and then when my friends stop playing, I'll stop playing as well. So I'm never playing by myself anymore, and I'm doing it for a place of fun. And unfortunately for me, the game that I did get addicted to, I can't go back to. I can't indulge in that again. It's a downward spiral, and I never want something to have such a control, such a grasp on my life as that video game did. And we're almost embarrassed to say that was an addiction, that I was addicted to a video game. You might even get laughed at or mocked because it's not a real addiction. But I'm here to tell you it is. It's very real. It's very, very prevalent and current in today's age, and it's something we need to be aware of and maybe start addressing some more. Anyway, that's my thoughts on video game addiction. Hope to see you in the next video.